Evening, everybody. It's lovely being with you. My name is Antoinette, and I've been part of Neolife for the last almost 20 years now. I want to tell you a story tonight. We're living in uncertain times, and we all want to live without fear. Most of us, most people today, would not mind having that second income. But I want to ask you a question tonight. If you stop doing what you're doing at the moment, what would your income be at the end of next month? If your answer is naught, nothing, what is your plan B? 20 years ago, I found myself in a very hard spot. I was very stressed. I was working as hard as I knew how, and I didn't have time for a second income. There wasn't such a thing, but I was not earning enough to come by and make life work and make the budget work. I started out life as a maths teacher, and 1 and 1 just wouldn't make 2 with a budget. So I embarked on the sales field, and it was when I had stomach ulcers that I came across the Neolife products. And I used 2 products for 2 days and the pain disappeared, and I was like an energized bunny. So these products worked. I went back to Rory, and he said to me, "How long are you going to do what you're doing?" And I said, "Not long, they're going to kill me." It was at that stage that I joined Neolife and decided to do this as a business. Today, I'm energized, I'm healthy, I live a life of freedom, I'm happy. I started out with Neolife. I could put my daughter through university. I've bought 2 cars, 2 new cars, working or being with Neolife. I've got 2 properties on the Dolphin Coast, on the beach, on the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal. So, and I live a lifestyle of absolute freedom and flexibility, which I think is what everybody wants. And that through Neolife. I thank the Lord that he sent Rory over my path, that I started my Neolife journey. But in that, I also want to say to you tonight, what did I do to make it work? Does it just work? This business works, but what is it that makes it work? Number 1, it's the right business. If you look at the market trend is wellness. The second thing is we've got absolute unique products that I knew from start because these products worked. The third thing is that you've got a huge market. Everybody that walks this planet can be a potential client of yours. And the fourth very important thing, you create residual income, and you're able to multiply time. So I could tick all these boxes that I knew was important if you choose a business. And the second point was, I want to share with you tonight, is you have to believe. You have to believe that the business works, the products work. You're not going to do this business if you don't believe in the products. You can't drive a Mercedes and work for BMW. It doesn't work that way. So get behind these products, why I say they work. And then, yeah, so it's believe, and then also believe in yourself. Then the next point is do what it takes. How did I start? I knew nothing. I was a maths teacher. This is the wellness industry. Okay? I had to get the knowledge. The first little check, the first little rebate I earned, I bought, we didn't have internet in those years. I bought a file that had all the product knowledge in, and I devoured that. We had product and business seminars that you had to attend physically. I remember attending one in Durban, and it was so far above what my understanding of anything that I bought myself a flight ticket, flew to Joburg to hear the same talk again. Today, everything is online. get with a program, get behind it, get the knowledge, get the information, and just run. This thing works if you run with it, if you attend, what makes it work? There's three things. Number one is you need to decide that it's going to work. This business works. But will it work for you? Have you decided to make it work for you? The second thing is 3 daily success habits that Rory will most probably tell you about, or that we will share with you. It's easy. This is not rocket science. And the third thing is get knowledgeable on the products and on the business. So those are the three things. Will it work for you? The day you decide it's going to work, that day it's going to work, because you'll make it happen. So I hope you can walk the success road of freedom and everything that I've experienced in my 20 years with New Life. I wish you success. And with that, I want to introduce you to Rory McDermott, our four-diamond director and the leader of our vision team. Rory has built a massive business, focusing on the success of others. He's a true leader. He's an inspiring mentor. His passion is evident, and his vision is contagious. He radiates and inspires success. He will tell you what to do this business. Thank you, Rory.
Oh, Antoinette. Thank you, Antoinette. That is fantastic. Let me just pick that. Here we go. Okay. There we go. I hope. Just let me get, there we go. Antoinette, I just want to say thank you. And thank you for those wonderful words. And I want to, you spoke about me coming across your path. I'm just so pleased that you came across my path. Okay. And, I just wish, Antoinette speaks about 20 years ago. I just wish you could wind back the clock and see the person that I met 20 years ago. Antoinette, as she mentioned, she was stressed, and she was stressed, believe me. And she mentioned she had ulcers, and she was, fighting for survival, I suppose. That's what happens. And then Neolife came across her path. And to see Antoinette today, the woman she is, with the confidence she has, having raised a family successfully as a single mother, I think that is so important to understand. Not only raised a family, but thrived in it. She mentioned of her properties on the beach and her cars and various other things. These things are so important. And every single human being wants to prosper and deserves to prosper. And so, and your story tonight, I'm sure will be an inspiration to so many other mothers out there who are possibly in the same situation. And we know there are literally hundreds of thousands of people in your situation, single parents trying to bring up kids. And you've done such a grateful, wonderful job of it. And your kids are so brilliant through it, and grandchildren as well. So congratulations on that, Antoinette. And, Antoinette's just given you a few little ideas of what it's all about. But what happens is, what changed in Antoinette's life? Being a maths teacher, working as hard as she knew how, there was a change they came across. And I look on that change as what I call the gift of Neolife, because she received the gift of Neolife many, many years ago. And my wife, Nola, and I, the same thing, nearly 50 years ago, for heaven's sake, nearly 50 years ago, we received this gift. And by latching onto this gift and applying the techniques and the principles that are given, it changed our lives dramatically. And so, as Antoinette mentioned, today we are living in certainly uncertain times, and you cannot take anything for granted. And, like jobs, investments, everything is changing. So the key is to set up a system B, and that's basically what we're going to talk about this evening. Okay, so I want to talk about the Neolife solution. What or who is Neolife? Neolife is a company that was founded by a man called Jerry Brasfield, who today, Jerry, if you could see him, he's alive and well. He's 80 plus, strong, healthy, traveling the world. I think he still flies his own airplanes and things as well. And he's an amazing, amazing character. So Jerry Brasfield was the founder of Neolife. And so it is a family business that has been going for over 65 years. Um, if you had to say to me, what separates Neolife from the rest? Okay. I believe that the separation comes from what I call a base of sound company principles. And these values that Jerry's put in place has been the guideline that has kept this company strong for the last 65 years. And now his daughter Kendra will take this business on to new heights with the new generation using the same solid foundation principles. I'm just going to give them to you very, very briefly. Firstly, absolute integrity. You have to run this business on that basis. Um, the second thing is people are number one. We value people, people above everything else. All decisions are made on what is good for the people. The third value that we work on is products that work. And, Antoinette touched on that. Within 2 days, she had a response on the product. And I'm going to be just going into a little bit of the product just now. But I'll give you a little story. I have someone who well, no, I won't go into it. It's too long at this stage to go into that story. But there are so many people today who can testify that the Neolife product has changed their lives completely. So the fourth and fifth, so products at work, and then long range vision. The company has a very long range vision, and that's what's kept it going for so long. And the whole goal here is to make decisions that will go generations above generations, because we would like to build a business that goes on from generation to generation, so you can build this business and leave it as a legacy to your family to continue with. And to me, that is an incredible opportunity and incredible investment. So these values are actually the foundation for the success. In fact, the goal we basically have is this. Our goal is to have complete what I call balanced success. Now, what do I mean by balanced success? Success is not only money in the bank. A lot of people just chase money for success, and they think that's what being successful is all about. Not at all. Success has many parts. The first one is mental success. Then you've got to think right. Your mind is so important that you have a healthy mind. Then physically, to have a healthy body is a vitally important thing. You might have all the money in the world. If you're sitting in the nearest hospital, that's of no value to you at all. Then spiritual success. In this day and age, spiritual success is so important. And that's the most important success you've got to work on whilst here. Then social and family success. In other words, your success must embrace your family and must be a social success as well. And then very lastly, financial. So that's what I call a balanced success, to have mental success, physical, spiritual, social, and then financial. And that is what we strive to do. And that's what the policies are all about. So when a person is looking at a business, I like to use the 5 points to evaluate a business on. And you might want to just jot these down because I think they're important. The first criteria you use in judging any business is this: are the products relevant? In other words, the products that the company is selling or marketing, are they need necessity? Are they relevant? Are they wanted in every home? Our product range, and incidentally, we've got over 90 products in the range, and the range moves from the wellness industry into the personal care, into the skin care, and into the home care. So we have a whole range of biodegradable, top quality products. And so we have a 90 product range throughout the world. And incidentally, while I say throughout the world, Neolife today operates in over 50 countries around the world. And that's an exciting thing, because you can be sitting here in South Africa and there are South Africans all around the world, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, Canada. You can connect these people to your network on a global basis. And that is a very healthy thing, especially when you consider the value of the rand these days. So to have a stream of US dollars coming in, that value coming, or Australian dollars, would make a huge difference. So I believe that that's very, very important. So the first thing is, are the products relevant? We can tick that box. Yes, they certainly are. Number 2, is the company solvent and long-term? So many companies come in promising the world, And 2 years later, they're not in sight any longer. The company is very solvent. We don't have to run after shareholders because it's a family-owned business. It's very solvent. It's very long-term. It stood the test of time of 65 years. The third criteria you might want to look at is, will it make me money? Indeed, I'm going to show you a very simple little overview today. Obviously, there's more information later, but it's just, will it make me money? Yes, it can make money. And the money, I might add, starts at what I call the director level, which I'll explain to you now. The fourth criteria is, what are the risks associated with the business? In other words, how risky is it for you? Well, there's basically zero risk because you can get into the business for 1,000 Rand or 2,000 Rand. And that, you can't even buy a decent pair of shoes for that today. So it's risk-free. You work from home. It is flexi time. You do not have to employ staff. You do not have to carry millions of rands worth of inventory. The company does all of that for you. So yes, indeed, it is zero risk in this business. And the fifth criteria is, what do I have to do as a person to make it happen? And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that now. So let's suppose, and by the way, some people will be on this call today and look at it and say, well, I love to do this, but only as a customer. And we are perfectly comfortable with that. But tonight I'm directing this call to people who I would term ambitious and want more out of life. So the starting point is this. What is your reason for joining Neolife? What is it that you need? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to have or buy with your life, in your life? And who do you want to become? In other words, what is your purpose? It's so vital that you establish your purpose and know what your reason is, because like anything of value, nothing of value in life is easy. You will be challenged along the way. If you are purposeless, you'll just give up. But if you've got a defined purpose, you'll continue until you achieve that purpose. So your purpose, or your vision, I like to call it, is so very important. We all know the saying from the Bible, a man without a vision will perish. So true. What is your vision? Okay, there it is. So many people, you either have what I call a life which is a daring adventure, or you have this long gray road of mediocrity. You don't want that. So you want to have a life of purpose, okay? So that's the next thing. So what is basically here to make the difference? What makes the difference between the rich and poor? So we say you've got to sort out your vision for a start. And then what makes the difference? I believe that time management is the best kept secret of the rich. Rich people find ways and means to amplify or duplicate their time through other people. And that's exactly what Neolife allows you to do. For instance, you might be a doctor. You might be the best doctor in KZN or in South Africa, but your income is restricted to your ability of time, your ability and your time. So the key to wealth is to find a way that you can multiply your effort and duplicate your time through other people. So time management is definitely the best kept secret of the rich. And talking about time, what I suggest is that you start off part-time and allocate at least a minimum of 10 hours per week. Now, you've got to be specific on this. There's a vast difference between spare time. Some people say, oh, I'll do it when I get a chance in my spare time. That will not work. It's got to be part-time, allocated time. And I'd recommend at least 10 hours per week you should put aside. And you should put aside the next 2 to 5 years. In other words, nothing of value happens overnight. Don't expect instant success. That is fool's play, really it is. So put aside the next 2 to 5 years. The next thing you need is a system, because if you have a system of business, a system will eliminate any confusion. So you need to have a system. And the system I'm going to show you today is very simple. I'm going to do an illustration here on the board. Let's see, I hope you can see all of that. Okay, I'm going to be talking largely about you. So let's put you on the board here. There you are. Can you see that? Right, you can see that. All right. Now, what we're going to suggest is that you link to the company. You link to Neolife. Now, I'm just going to read there that link to Neolife. Now, something you must understand, you do not work for Neolife. Neolife is actually your supplier or business partner. You, in fact, are the managing director of your own business. And that is good because as long as you leave your life in the hands of someone else, you'll never create a life of any value. So you start your own business tonight. You link to Neolife, who is your business partner and supplier. And to do that, I'm going to talk about a kit. There's a kit, a starting kit. We call it the six-pack kit. What do we mean six-pack? I'm going to talk to you about that now. It's a six-pack kit, and there's an investment here of 1,880 Rand for your stock. What you get with your six-pack kit is you get 6 products. We call them tree and end products, and I'm going to explain that now. But you get a box of 6 products. You get your buying number. You get your website. You get your literature. You get your company support. You get the company system. And you also have a sponsor who has an invested interest in your success. So it's a complete deal. And you get into this for 1,880 Rand in the six-pack system. There are cheaper ways, but I recommend that. So the first thing you do here is you link to Neolife, and then you adopt 3 what I call daily success habits. And I'm going to just put them here. Number 1, we're going to ask you to use the product yourself. Now, bearing in mind, we know there's over 90 products in the range, and you are using similar products today, which you're purchasing directly from retail companies, not your business. You're buying them from someone else's business. What we're suggesting is to change your buying habits and start directing that same investment, that same money you spend on dishwashing liquids, laundry powders, skin cares, hair shampoos, face creams. You're spending money every single month, but you're spending them at a retail store. So start supporting someone else's business and start supporting your own business and get your products directly from Neolife at a 25% discount on the business volume. That will be explained to you as time goes on. And start to use the products. Now, why do we want you to use the products? We want you to use them so that you can believe that they're good. Antoinette said this, if you don't believe, you won't achieve. You've got to convince yourself before you can convince anyone else. Makes sense, doesn't it? So use the product so that you have an experience of it and have confidence within the product. The second daily success habit, I'm just going to abbreviate it here today because of space. TTP is talk to people. In other words, let's take this one product, Tree and N. What is Tree and N? Tree and N consists of grain concentrates that the human body needs to be healthy. Your body is either healthy, tired, or sick. And what's happened with food processing over the years, these essential oils, which we used to get in our grain foods, have been machined out, processed out of the equation. Why? So that your food can sit on the supermarket shelf for 6 months and not go off. That's what they do, okay? But these essential oils are designed to keep each little cell, each little molecule of your body healthy. And you're made of trillions and trillions of cells. And those cells are either healthy, tired, or sick. So if we can get our cells healthy, immediately on that one product alone, you're going to have a better quality of life. People go into Tree and N, they suddenly have more energy. Their skin is better. Their eyesight improves. I've heard, you're made up of cells. Your heart is cells. Your lungs are cells. If these cells are healthy, that's a very good start. Would you agree with me? I'm sure you would. So you use the products and you start to talk to people and you start to recommend these products. And we like you to develop a story, a testimony. I use Tree and N because, it's given me more energy and I'm just feeling a healthier person. I'm having a better quality lifestyle. This is what transfers the knowledge. The story, your story is what transfers knowledge from A to B and C. And so it goes on. So your story is critical, and that story comes from personal experience on the product. There's no shortcut on that. Convert your household to as many of the products you can as soon as you can. But tonight, I'm just taking that one product that's called Tree and N. I'm not going to even write it in. It's the 3-in-1 oils, okay, Tree and N, and start to use it yourself. Now, Tree and N comes in a kit, and for 6 bottles of Tree and N, we call it your 6-pack. it comes to 102 points. Now, each product has a point value. So a case of 6 N is 102 points. So we want you to invest in the case, you get your website, etc., everything bolted onto that, but use the product so you become a believer in the product. As you talk to people, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to develop a few customers. And we want you to get some customers, sell them your tree name. You make about just under 400 Rand profit per case. And you've got 6 customers, which technically should buy a bottle of tree name from you every single month because it's a consumable, reusable product. That's important, you know. So build your little customer base. Now, what happens very soon is as you build your customer base, along the way, you start finding people who are just like you. They want more out of life. And between yourself and your customers, very soon, it is quite possible in your 10 hours per week to build a business doing 250 points per month. That's about 3 cases of tree and N, 2.5 cases of tree and N a month. That's your job. That's your start. But the interesting thing is, as you talk to people, you get Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C come along and say, I want to make some money. I'm not sure about my pension. The company I'm working for is closing down and reducing its staff. My investments are not working. Or someone's hacked my bank account. They need to make more money. I don't know what their story is. But you find 3 people who are looking for opportunity. You get them to link to the company. So they invest in their 6-pack. They get their 102 points like you do. You get them to talk to people, get some customers, and very soon they build a 250-point business like you've done. So what happens is the company now add up that volume, 250, 500, 750, 1,000. On a 1,000-point unit, you are what we call a senior manager. By the way, you are getting kickbacks, cash every month. There's a cashback system. On that volume, you'll be earning about 1,500 Rand per month, still on a very part-time basis. Now, in the fullness of time, let's see what happens. Excuse me. You continue using, you continue talking to people, and you find 3 more people. That's your job every month, is to look for 3 more people. And you teach Mr. A to do the same, Mr. B to do the same, and Mr. C to do the same. I don't know how long this is going to take you. It might take you 2 months. It might take you 6 months. It might take you a year. You're the managing director. It's your work ethic and your output that will determine the speed of progress. So what happens? Mr. A has now built himself a business of 1,000 points. You've got your 1,000. B and C do the same. So now we've got a business doing 1, 2, 3 plus yours is 4,000-point business. And this is key because this is what we call a director level. And so we want you to become a director as soon as possible. Now, how long does it take? 6 months, a year, that is determined by you. We've had someone who's done it in 2.5 months. I don't know how long it's going to take you. You determine that as the managing director. But become a director, because a director is the person whose cash back is at least 10,000 Rand per month. That's not too shabby. That's, if you are a director every single month for a year, that's 120,000 Rand cash back coming back into your family. That's not too bad at all. And you know, I just want to speak for a moment to people who, the people are going to say, well, okay, so an extra 120,000 Rand, big deal. Let me give you the broad brush, the big picture at this stage. Here you are as a director. You're doing, okay, by now your business is doing at least 5,000 points per month. In the fullness of time, let's say it takes 2 years. So what? I don't care how long it takes you. Let's say you develop 3 other directors all doing 5,000 points the same as you. You've now moved into what we call a world team. Your income potential there is, I'd say, 30, 40,000, maybe 50,000 Rand per month. What would happen, let's say in the next 3, 4, 5 years, if you manage to develop 6 other directors who will have directors in their own team? The moment your business is doing over 100,000 points a month, your income is well in excess of 100,000 Rand, and we call you our presence team level. From this level, there's so much excitement going on. For instance, the people who are directors with one director will be invited to Mauritius. We're going there in May to a beautiful hotel in Mauritius, and the company will pay the airfares and the accommodation for those who qualify in volume. For instance, if you had 6 directors, you'd be invited to Paris. The company's going there in September to Paris. We've just come back from a wonderful trip to Istanbul. We've seen the world through this business time and time again. And so if extra money is good for you and travel is your thing, you can do amazing things with this business. So that basically is a broad brush concept on the business. The business works providing you apply yourself to it with the right, what I call PMA, a positive mental attitude. If you work with a negative mental attitude, you don't get anywhere. So you've got to be positive, and you've got to learn, and I use the term go pro in it. What are the qualities I look for in the people who join us? There are a couple of things which I think you need. The first quality we look for is people who've got a strong desire to make a success out of their lives. Now, I believe there are 2 types of people in life. In fact, surveys at 65 show us that at 65 years old, 95% of people are either dead or dead broke, or dependent on their family, or dependent on an outdated pension, or might even be dependent on the government. How's that? 95% of people at 65 are in that situation. That is scary. In fact, that was my motivation for joining this business. So that leaves a group of 5% of people are financially independent. Now ask yourself a very simple question. Doing what you're doing in life, where are you headed? To the 95 or the 5% group? That you must answer for yourself. You've got to make that decision and that call. So we are looking for people who have got a desire to become successful. That's the starting point. When it comes to the desire, the next thing is, okay, you've got to find a way. How are you going to become successful? You need to find a system, a business system. Neolife is a business system that you will apply to your life. You are the miracle that makes the system work. Okay, with their help and guidance and direction, you can make the system work. So you need to find a way of producing the income that you're seeking. I know of no finer opportunity than the Neolife opportunity, because I've seen it change my life. I've seen it change Antoinette's family's future. I've seen, the beautiful thing about it is you develop friendship around the world with the Neolife family around the world. It is a great family to be part of. And, I think of Luciano Mambelli sitting in Italy at the moment. He has made a fortune out of his business, and his family, the next generation, is taking over from him. It is such a wonderful business opportunity. And the beautiful thing is it's risk-free, it's honest and sincere, it's based on some solid principles and philosophies. So I think Neolife is as good as it gets. So I believe you've seen the way. The third thing you've got to do is to take action on the opportunities that are presented in life to you. And when it comes to the action, I think this is where we get the parting of the ways. When it comes to action, these people look at it and they start coming up with excuses. Oh, I can't sell. It's not in my nature. Change. They will say things like, I haven't got a good education. I have seen people with no education make this work. From all backgrounds, from all ages, from all race groups. I don't care about your age, your background, or where you come from. If you've got the desire, you can make this thing work. Okay. So excuses are for the weak, and excuses will keep you poor or exactly where you are. So don't make excuses. Take the action. And the action is very simple. Make a decision. So often people are waiting and looking around for the ideal circumstance, the right time. Believe me, the right time never comes. Opportunity doesn't wait for the right time. And that's what makes it opportunity. So I would suggest you turn to the person and get back to the person who was good enough to invite you onto this program this evening and make a decision, yes or no. If it's no, thank you for your time. I would suggest you try the products because they certainly will make you a healthier person. But if it's yes, take the action. Your sponsor will give you a website or send you an application form. Complete the application form, make the decision, and do it now. Now, a lot of these people say, yes, I want to do it, but I haven't got money. Shame. How long have you been working? If you haven't got 1,800 Rand to 2,000 Rand spare, you are already in financial trouble. And then for things to change, you've got to change. And what I would suggest is raise the capital, put it on a credit card, go and sell an old bicycle or do something, but get the investment together. So often we look around our home and we've got what I call dead capital lying around. Activate your dead capital, put it into something that can change your life. It's the best investment you'll ever make. I look back to Nolan, my investment nearly 50 years ago. Everything we have in our portfolio of wealth around the world today has come from the single investment into your life. So it's the best investment anyone can make. And I'm going to encourage you to have the courage to try something new. Reinvent yourself. If there's one word I'd like to leave you with for 2024, it's the word of expectancy. I want you to have great expectations. I want you to believe in yourself and in the future of this world. I want you to have the courage to try, take control of what you can control and forget all about the madness that is all the way around us. Forget about that and focus on the things that you can do and become part of your life tonight. Make that decision. Get back to your sponsor and do it. And we look forward to working with you in the years to come. So thank you for your time. God bless you.